What's going on, guys? Ida here. This is episode number 13. Hopefully it is not unlucky. This is the episode 13 of the 10-10 challenge in FIFA 17. Now, this is hopefully our last game in Division 9. As you can see, I've not changed the team. And if you were eagle-eyed in the last episode, we did have Mr. Trigueros here. He had an injury, but I used a card to fix him, and I have also given, if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players a new contract because they were all out. I don't want to change the team because I'm doing so well with it recently. I want to keep it as it is and see if we can go on and push on. After this episode, hopefully, we get promoted and get the title, and we can get a new bench, maybe some new players on the actual pitch. So what I'll do is get into the game and I will see what their team is. Alright, this guy has a guest, but he has Mane, Gabriel Jesus, Remy, Fernandinho, Schneidlin, John Stones, and then the other players. I think that might be Lingard for Bayer Leverkusen, that's central midfielder. But then the other players, I have no idea. Now, this guy has a guest, so it might be difficult for me. I've not played against a guest in a while. I normally sort of back out of them because I don't like playing against guests. But I'd sort of already confirmed and then realised he had a guest and he'd confirmed, and yeah, that happened. So I'll have to see what I can do, but it looks like, nope, okay. I was going to say, it looks like his partner isn't playing, which would have been brilliant to start the game off. But I think what I'm going to have to do is just keep it tight at the back, which, well, is not easy for me. Especially with two players that he has, it's going to be easier for him. But I do find there are ways around them. And his defence is pretty shoddy. He's got pretty much bronze players in the whole team at the back. So, that was Baumgartlinger. What a guess. Somehow got that. I knew he'd moved clubs. Didn't realise it was to Bayer Leverkusen. Now, the latency, hopefully there isn't too much lag. Is that offside? No? It's just my ball. Now, what I need to do is be careful of that. But he's just left this player. So I think what I'm just going to do is push it up to... oh my god. I wanted a chip through ball. I always do chip through balls there because you get that sort of run onto it. Whereas if you just do a X pass, they just do a standing jump. Whereas I find if you do chip through ball, they run onto it and actually get some height. So hopefully they get the header on it and actually win something from that. Because normally they just sort of leave it. Now let's play. Okay, Aspas. Okay, this is where I counter. This is where I'm going to lose the game. Haha. What? No way. Okay, and my defender doesn't want to move. Let's get it away, Trigueros. Good. Get it to Origi. Aspas. Get back to Origi. Let's go out to Sane. Let's knock it on forwards. Sane, he's faking me. Oh, I needed to do something there. One or the other, not neither. Or both. Should have just chipped him. Or played it to Origi. Back out to Sane. Still with Sane. No, that is my throw-in somehow. Okay, I'll take it. Out to Origi. Oh, that's got to be a free kick. Yes, I thought so. I turned him, went through his legs. He just stood still and got in the way. Right, you know what he's going to do here? He's going to go on the line, isn't he? No, because he's not me. Oh, he is going on the line. Okay. But he doesn't know how to run to the line. Right, what have we got? Do we have the extra runner? We do. One touch and bang. Yes, that's a goal. That is for Trigueros. And I'm going to dab on you because you went on the line and I still scored. Boom, boom, boom. And my numbers are still messed up. Pedro's still number 4. It really confuses me when I see Trigueros picking the ball up sort of that position in the actual game. Not just from a free kick, but just passing it back out. And I see a number 5 there. I'm just like, ew. Why is my centre back there? But it's obviously Not a centre-back, as I always think it is. Get it out back to Pedro. Oh, no, it was Aspas. I thought he had... Okay, I'll take it. Okay, that's Gambrini. Nice win. Now, the topic I was gonna talk about in this game was something that I could have just scored there, but I sweated. Now, hey, Jesus, get back. Jesus, take the wheel. Get back in. Take the wheel, Jesus. Nice shot. Now, the topic I was going to talk about is something that's been in the news today. Is Jesse Lingard at Man United with his new £100,000 a week contract. Oh, that's got to lob him. Oh, Sonny! I thought that was in. Sonny! Yes! Yes, 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 yes. What a goal. Nice little passing around the box there. I could have just shot from outside, but what they're doing, because there's two of them, if you pass it quick, they can get confused, and you know, one of you goes for one of you, and they don't know which one you're going to pass to, and it's difficult for them to defend, which is something that I find if I play with a guest. It's difficult to defend quick passing, which is what I need to do. Now, Lingard. My opinion on Lingard having the new high contract is he has played... That's got to be a free kick. He's played a lot of games for England. Not that many for Man United, really. I think he's made 40 starts, or maybe it's 40 appearances in the Premier League for Man U, which isn't a lot, and he tends to be a substitute. But I also think with a guy like him, he's... Oh, that was just wide. He's been at the club since he was about 7. Now, when they come through at the club, what they tend to do is when they're a young player, obviously they don't play that much, and they, especially with Lingard, he went out on loan, and obviously with your loan players, you're not going to give them a lot of money because you're not playing them, and if you're not playing them and they are going out on loan, the clubs that try and take them on loan aren't going to be able to afford their wages, because a lot of these clubs pay at least a percentage of wages of that player. Now, what they're not going to do is pay 100 odd grand for Lingard. Oh, I nearly got it in with Pedro. They're not going to pay that if it's like a Newcastle or a Cardiff or somebody, I don't know, a random team like that. Just two teams I've picked out at the top of my head. But what they will do is pay the wages of somebody that's on about 30 grand. And so if they keep them on lower wages, they're going to be able to put them out on loan, and it means that they're not going to have to pay for any part of their wages, even a percentage of it, which means that they get a player out on loan, they get a player with getting experience, and it's a lot better for them. Now, because he's actually got some appearances for them, and he is in their first team, let's not forget that, first team squad, I should say, and didn't finish off the sentence, he commands a type of wage which isn't too different to what he is getting. When you look at the players that aren't in the team, for example, Wayne Rooney, you know, oh, I nearly pushed A then. He's not in the team, and he's on 3 times the amount that that Lingard's on, or his new contract is. So, in that sense, it's not that bad. But you could be cynical and say he's not that great of a player. If he left Man U, what position in the league, what sort of team would he go to? He wouldn't go to a Chelsea, maybe Arsenal, because they like hoovering up players that like Welbeck and players like that. But I doubt he'd go there. He wouldn't go to a Tottenham. He wouldn't go to... I don't know what happened there. He wouldn't go to a Liverpool. He wouldn't. You know, Liverpool to Man U, that's just something that doesn't happen. I don't know whether Everton would take him. They've got Balassi, they've got Lukaku at the moment, they've got Barkley and a couple of other players like that. And so you're looking at maybe a Stoke or, you know, teams 7th down, or 8th down even. Are any of those teams really likely to pay 100 grand a week? The answer is probably no. Now, what Man United like to do is to have a youth player at least in their squad. And so in terms of that, perfect. And if they have to pay 100 grand a week, they're happy to do so because it means they've got that youth player. They keep the values of the club. They keep the supporters on side because obviously that's a big deal, keeping that many supporters that they have on side. And if they lose some of those fans because they don't feel that the club is the same as it used to be, that's going to be a big deal. And so in that sense, it's a good idea. Now, do I personally think Lingard deserves that much money? Now, negating the fact that I think no footballer deserves that much money, they earn it, and I don't put it against them that they have the ability to earn that because the money in the game. But in terms of just on the how much money people earn, there are a lot of average footballers who earn just ridiculous amounts of money. But putting that aside, because you have to, because in football it's it's one of those things that's going to happen. Is he worth £100,000 a week? Now, when I think about it, you look at somebody like Willian at Chelsea. Until he got Player of the Season last year, his contract at Chelsea was... Now, he had bonuses on top of it, if he did well. But I think his contract reportedly was about 70,000 a week. For a Brazilian international who scores free kicks for fun and is... Chelsea, obviously we finished 10th last season, but season before were, everyone knows what Chelsea did season before last and all that. But, a player like that on less money, I think, I'd say Lingard, maybe 75 grand in football terms. So that's pretty good for him. It's good for Man U. It's good for his age because he is only 24. And considering even after his good, two seasons previously in the Premier League, because obviously he's on his third very good scoring season, it's only this year where he's sort of been boosted up to 150 grand, I think it is. I think he's Tottenham's highest paid player. Before that, he was on... I think it was like 50 grand. Then he had a new contract. It was 60. Then he had another new one, and it was on like 90, I think it was. And then he's been pushed up to 150. So it took 3 seasons of being, one of the best Premier League goal scorers and, regular England player who scores goals for England and is one of the best players on the team before he even got 150 grand. Now, Lingard... He's not played a whole lot of games for Man United, and he's not always been the best player on the pitch, and he's not 35 game starts a season player and, best player on the team. But obviously at Man United, if you look at it, if he is that, he's going to be earning 250 grand, not 100 grand. So you have to put it in perspective with the club as well. And I think it's difficult to say. Now, I'm going to hug this guy. La 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 la. Let's have a dance. But I think in terms of Man United and the amount of money they have, the players or the wages they're already on, I'll give it to them. I'll say, yes, that's how much he is worth. A talking point could be, look at some of the players, maybe they've got other players that are, played the same amount of first team games as him and aren't on that contract. But then you could also say, look at Luke Shaw and his performances in the last year or since he's come back from his broken leg. And even before that, because he did get called out by Van Gaal before he broke his leg. And he was, told that he was lazy and overweight. And I think his contract is actually more than Lingard's. Now, you could say that's because of his transfer fee. If you're buying a player for 33 million, if you're from Southampton, if you're buying a player for 33 million, automatically their sort of their wages that they're asking for is going to be a lot different than a player that you signed for, say, 10 million. And so I get that as well. Ultimately, how I think of it, it's sort of different opinion to a lot of people. But how I see it is, yeah, he's on a lot of money, but it ain't my money. I'm not paying him those wages. People moan about teams spending X, Y, Z on... I keep doing that on the corners, overhitting it. They spend however much money on a player in terms of their transfer fee. I just think, well, it's not my money. I don't have to tell people how much to spend on a player. If that's how much they think they're worth, then that's how much they're worth to that team. Like Pogba, you look at him, and I always think it's not my money. The amount of money they're going to make on, because he is a popular player. It's the sort of Pog boom, the meme, and the emojis and all that, and the shirt sales and links with Adidas and everything that goes in with that sort of deal. You think the amount of money they make on that, it's negligible for the amount of money that they put out for him. And also the age he is, he's 23, I think, 22. That money that they have, wow, my players are knackered. I need to give him a fitness card. But the amount of money that they spent on him, let's say he stays there for 12 years and he stays there till he's 35. I should have done 10. But, you divide that 80 by 12, and I almost curled that around the keeper. Aspas, left foot, and that's a goal. But you divide that 80 in between 12, and you get a pretty simple figure that, is not that much per season. Let's say it's 10 seasons. Even then, 8 million a season for a player that's gonna earn you that a lot of money. Obviously, his wages take out from that and all that. But if you take that out, then in reality, the club benefits and they keep earning money. And so, in that respect, it depends how Lingard does, especially, but it also depends how Pogba does. Now, I didn't want it to go into talk about Pogba because I can use that in a different episode, or maybe not talk about it. But in terms of Lingard, do I think he's worth it? For Manchester United specifically, yeah, he's worth it. For another team that maybe that wage is too high, no, he's not worth it. Even for a Chelsea or an Arsenal, no, he's not worth it. For Man United, yeah, he's worth it. Right. Now, in terms of shots on target, I did very well that game. They didn't. I got 9 and 8. They got 8 and 3. So, that is, if I go advance, that means we won the title. Means we've won 3,000 coins, which I'm going to use to buy the fitness cards and contracts and all that stuff. And that also means we are now in Division 8. Yes, we are. Okay, and the next episode is going to be Division 8, but it is going to be the pack opening. 10 packs, 10 minutes, and see what we can do with it. So, what I'm going to do is leave it there. I will see you in the next episode.